I had a big heart strain on 21st January 2018 at a traumatic event injury and broken bone. My life changed. I think my positive thought helped me recover. Whatever happened, happened. What will be, will be. As long as I'm in the kitchen, I'm happy. My heart feeling happy. That's what's important. I cannot eat if I'm not holding something. I cannot talk. People not understand until now. People, I cannot talk at all. What can I do? You need to accept help from others. You have to believe in yourself. I came in December 22, 2015 for a career, nice career. My job was safe.
I first met Khadag in 2015, firstly over Skype because we were interviewing him for a job. He was in Rarotonga, we were in Governor's Bay. We were keen to interview him after seeing his resume. He'd worked in resorts all over the world, had very good references.
I worked 3.5 years in the Government Bay. From there, I moved to Queenstown.
He decided he wanted to go and work at Millbrook Resort. Loved working there and then realised that Queenstown was going to be a difficult place to bring his family. So he wanted to come back to Christchurch. He was coming back for an interview actually in the hotel across the road from us in Governor's Bay and then driving back down to Queenstown when he had his accident. His car spun out, he wrapped himself around a tree and was very critically injured, flown to Christchurch Hospital.
I had a big heart strain. I can remember this or the time straight after the accident is all blank.
Khadag was in a coma and there was no response at all in ICU. Things were looking really, really grim.
Suji ring me. She say, your husband have an accident. And doctor say, this one is brain injury.
Sabita had to come to New Zealand from Nepal.
It's very hard. First time traveling and new language. We are Hindu. We pray for our God. Maybe Khadag is alive. We tell to doctor, please give us more time.
His village back in Nepal did a ritual the whole village willing Khadag to be well.
We have some feeling, maybe he come back, just like magically, he can recover slowly.
I was in a coma 22 days. There was progress slowly over time. I stayed more than 8 months in the Laura Fergusson.
Khadag moved to the Ralph unit, which is intensive rehabilitation. He still was not able to hardly move, very little response. Bista was able to go back to Nepal to collect their boys, and then some months later came back.
Susie make every whole paper or everything to bring boys. And if I bring boys here, I can look my husband by myself. It takes time. Everything is good. We are the family. We support him every time, step by step.
This leg, we collect this suffering from after this only I can walk faster.
So Debbie, give me grapes? Yeah. 2004, we married. I married for Khadag. He always worked outside of the country. Every year he came Nepal to meet us, just like for 1 month or 2 month holiday. 10 years, just like same.
This house we mortgage same money, very good. Now this house
And you're with that big
very good for me. Then we stay together.
Bye, Darren. Bye-bye.
Laura Fergusson teach me how to walk, how to eat, how to speak. Couldn't talk 8 months, couldn't talk all.
The doctors had said there was absolutely very little chance of him even coming out of a coma. If he did, they advised it was very unlikely he would be able to walk, talk again, live any kind of meaningful life.
Money. I say, Relearning my speech therapy. I want a coffee.
A coffee?
Potato.
Yeah, what coffee we are?
Potato.
Sorry?
Potato. She was helping me potato. Also, I cannot talk before. Now I can talk this much, even though nobody understands what I say.
First letter R, isn't it? Is it correct?
Overstreeter? Oh, there we go, thank you.
Yeah, great.
Khadag really struggled being able to coordinate his tongue and his lips and all the muscles that we need for speech. So we did a lot of work initially actually just to get his yes-no response so that he had some basic means of communication.
No, I can hear.
It's okay. You just get yours.
Sometimes they understand what I say. Silent.
Chai latte, was that spicy or sweet?
Sometimes not.
Spice.
It's spicy.
Spicy?
He had quite a severe injury and it's affected lots of areas in his brain. So we are looking to help him make new connections again as the brain tries to repair itself.
Do you need a receipt or anything?
Yes. As long as I'm in the kitchen, I'm happy. My heart feeling happy. That was important for me to be in the kitchen.
Hello, Khadag. How are you doing?
The Khadag is incredibly passionate about food and about cooking and about his mana, I would say, as a chef. You know, he was a very, very good chef, so he was determined that he was going back into a kitchen.
What are we gonna make today?
Butter chicken.
Sounds good.
Can Do Catering, they give him the good practice of his own job.
As part of Laura Fergusson Brain Injury Trust, we started this business, Can Do Catering, which was a social enterprise. Catering assistants, most of them are residents here. Some of them now have moved into the community. Khadag is very unique. He is a chef, so he's very particular in what he wants to make, and he has his ideas.
Very good.
Does that look all right, yeah?
I work for almost 2 years in the volunteer. After 2 years, they pay me.
At the beginning of the journey of him preparing food again, it was terrifying.
He started coming down and to help with us as part of his rehab. And the first time I saw Khadag, he was peeling a carrot, and I thought, oh my Lord, he's going to cut his fingers off with a peeler, because it was nerve-wracking.
I cannot cut like that because this hand not in balance. That's why I cut chicken only.
Khadag always needs a rehabilitation coach because he's only really got the use of one hand. He has trouble slicing and dicing.
That's up for butter chicken.
Okay. I used to do a bit of cooking, yes. I wouldn't call myself a chef, though. No. Khadag is a chef.
We are not bossy, not thing.
No shortcuts here.
I don't think so.
He's now doing a great job. You know, he hasn't lost his gift of flavours and recipes and ideas.
When I'm cooking, I don't have to have recipe with me. That recipe I remember. Everything I make. Mostly I welcome Vicky and Basil. If they say something, I have to listen. Whatever they say, I do that one. But slightly different one, different way. But I listen also them.
I think it's a part of the kitchen. Kitchen rule. You need to have a bit of, clashes in cooking. He got his own views, and I got my own. But we always comes to a conclusion that whatever works for the customer, and we always get along very well at the end. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Very large.
Hey, Khadag. Hello. How are you?
Very good.
Good, good.
Without Suji, nothing there. They have blood.
So we need to make a time to come. I'll come over and look at things for the house.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've got the interest rates that we need to sort out. Yeah.
Right from the start with Khadag's accident, I was involved along with many other people. So like I say, it's always taken a village. But I have maintained a role of welfare guardian and property manager to help the family.
Okay, we can get that sorted. What else do we need to sort out?
Khadag still dreams to have a restaurant, and I hope that that comes true for him.
I want my own restaurant, but I don't know. Maybe one day, not now. Cannot do now. That's why I standing as a manager.
He tells me that he knows everything anyway, but that, a formal qualification would help him and help him towards his dream of having his own restaurant.
The other thing we need to talk about is saving for the trips that you want to do. So we just need to look at how we do that and how you can save money each week, yeah? Instead of online shopping.
I don't know. Picture is picture. Nobody know. Nobody know. Whatever happen, happen.
All is good. What will be, will be.
Right.
New language, new culture for us. New Zealand is and our country is totally opposite culture. different rule also here. It's very hard for us also.
The Nepalese community have been amazing in support of Khadag and Bista and their family. Right from the start, the Nepalese Society representatives were in the waiting room at ICU, introducing themselves. The boys, Subot and Sudeep, are incredibly adaptable. They've really adapted to New Zealand life amazingly well, and they are an inspiration really in themselves. They obviously miss Nepal and their family back there, but they're really making the most of life in New Zealand.
I work a lot in the day, minimum 12,080. Worker very good. If I work with the worker, then good for my health also.
When raining time also he working. At night time also he working. We say lots of time, not do like that, but he's not listen for us.
Khadag walks between 3 and 10 kilometres a day. He'd probably correct me because I'd have the figures wrong. He might be up to 20. His dedication to his rehabilitation is phenomenal.
I have pedal machine because that pedal machine helps me a lot for moving.
Khadag's a bit of an online shopper, so one day I realised that he'd made a hefty purchase out of the bank account, but I think it was a fabulous purchase. So it's pedals that he can use sitting down and working his legs like a bike, and he'll do that every day.
Good morning, Khadag.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very good.
Do you remember what we're going to be working on today?
I don't.
Today we're working on biking. So Khadag decided to buy himself a trike, and yeah, he's really keen to be able to use that to exercise a bit more and maybe get around the local community as well.
Doctor not allow me be on the tricycle, and LS also not allow me.
I like the nice bright colour you've chosen for your helmet, Khadag. Make sure everyone can see you.
Thank you. Then she say, if you riding just nearby, okay. If you going very far, not okay. But I try what to do.
All right, when you're ready. With his strength, some of it has returned. Just keeping over to the left side of the path there. Initially, he couldn't move the arm, but now he can, but it just doesn't always do what he wants it to do when he wants it to do it. And similar with the legs, so we see that with sort of working on the trike, that his foot won't stay on the pedal on the left side. Trying to get that back wheel on the path. There's a few challenges with the trike. One of them is keeping the feet on the pedals. It's obviously pretty difficult to get your momentum going if your foot doesn't stay on there. So part of that, we might need to consider something like whether a power assist is needed so that he can get up hills in the future if that's somewhere where he wants to be riding the bike. All right, Khadag, so we've got the cones out here. And what we're going to do with these ones is do a zigzag in between them. Another thing is just sort of his general awareness of people around him, being able to stop and avoid them in time. All right, when you're ready. Oh, okay, follow me. So we generally see the most improvement in the first 2 years after someone has a brain injury, but with hard work, perseverance, trying new things, there's often more things to gain. Just like, you or I could continue to build our fitness, Khadag can do that as well, and learn new skills like riding a bike. Great, little gap again. Khadag's always had this attitude of accepting of sort of whatever happens, which has allowed him to sort of keep a really positive mindset, I guess, in his recovery, which has been amazing. He's always there with a smile and a laugh.
Oof, that was close. Made it.
Yes.
And don't forget to smile.
No, I cannot.
It makes it easier.
No. No, I don't think so.
Khadag's very philosophical. He is making the most of his life as it is. He definitely doesn't have a poor me attitude. He's like, life's a surprise, we don't know what's going to happen. This is what has happened to me, but I am a very lucky man.
I cannot be angry. I cannot be guilty.
Yeah, but maybe it's a good idea to start on a lower level and then slowly work his way up.
No,
No?
that one very good.
You just, yep, okay.
The brain is pliable and he keeps working it, you know, and he will do everything possible to keep recovering. And he has made phenomenal progress.
He is not dependent for us. He can do by himself everything. If he is good, then he is not dependent for us.
Of course, we cannot do as a normal person, but we can do something better than them. Maybe. Who knows?
My connection with Khadag has obviously grown over time. I suppose we're more of a family. He's just touched everybody through his, you know, determination and grit. His character you could attribute to a brain injury. So being impulsive, getting frustrated, all of these things. Sabita kind of laughs and says, no, he's always been like that, which is true.
If you don't have coffee, you can't sleep.
It's
It's because you're addicted to Khadag.
no. I say you do whatever you can. Whatever happen. Never give up.